Hey guys, if you like the way that I'm teaching in this video, please check me out on lessonface.com/Benjamin Schuler. That's SCHULER. And yeah, just want to kind of talk a little bit about my finger picking journey and give you kind of a piece of the current puzzle of where I'm at in figuring this thing out. This series is about Elliott Smith's right hand, and more importantly, kind of about this whole idea of a technique called Carter family picking. I don't claim to be an expert, on finger picking at all, but this is what took me sort of from getting from a very basic understanding of and so, that sounds okay. But for me, about a year or two ago, I started playing with note pick. Yeah, it's been about 2 years now, and I'm super glad that I made that decision. And I'm gonna do a whole other video on that. For now, let's jump into it. If you like how I'm talking about these techniques, again, check me out, lessonface.com/Benjamin Schuler, SCHULER. All right, so weirdly enough, what got me into Elliott Smith's right hand technique was not something that I would have expected. It's a song by John Mayer called Stop This Train. And Stop This Train there's a lot of good videos on it. And if you want to learn that song note for note, I recommend that you do like I did and check out as many videos as humanly possible. What I'm here to talk about today is the right hand part of that technique. I'm going to touch on some of the chords and just kind of quickly move through the basics of the song so that you can follow along even if you've never heard it. But the main goal is to focus on the right hand, hence why you can't see my face as much. You're just seeing most of this right hand action. So Carter family picking has sort of 3 parts. We'll get into this in the series. Maybe it'll be a 3-part series. It has the thumb, the index, and the middle finger. And so thumb, index, and middle. That's sort of the fingers that Elliott Smith uses for a lot of his more complex finger picky type of stuff. Basically, the stuff that sounds like he is strumming or using a pick sometimes. I wanted to figure out how is he doing that with his fingers without just getting this super harsh sound. And so 3 parts, you have your thumb, your index, and your middle finger. Today we're going to talk a lot about the thumb and index. So that's kind of what part 1 is about. So let's get into it. Stop This Train. You're going to focus on playing a D chord. You are gonna play that D chord with your middle and ring. And so middle is on the A note of the G string, and ring is on the D note of the B string. Nothing playing the skinny E's open. And so, right hand, what's it doing? It's gonna be plucking the D and the B string. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. So, but that's not what this song sounds like. What he's doing is actually this. And so you're gonna hammer on that ring finger. That 3rd finger is gonna hammer on 0 to 3 on the B string. B to D. So plucking with the thumb and the middle finger, just like you see me doing there. reason you're plucking with these fingers is because of what you're going to do next. So far, pretty easy. So, what are you doing next? You're going to pluck, and then you're going to take the index finger, the back of the index finger, sort of the nail, wants to flick the G string. When I'm doing that flick, it's at the point that the nail is kind of at the apex on the side of the nail in the back of the nail. So where the nail is kind of most aggressively starting to curve, right at the point, not at the point like in the middle of your nail, but just kind of along the side of that index. Sort of this part right here where my nail starts to round out is where I want to curve. Almost like I'm imagining that I'm using just barely the tip or the side of a guitar pick. When I'm doing that flick, I want to keep it super light. So let's practice that a few times. Now, when John Mayer does this, when these guys are teaching this song on video, what they're teaching is they're going to teach you to go ahead and while you're doing that flick of your index, that guy, at the same time that you're doing that, you want to take your thumb and give these strings up here a little smack. So the side of your thumb is smacking while you're flicking. Kind of like that. I'm really bad about not using my thumb. It doesn't actually matter as much as you think. But if you're trying to get it like John, then that's what you're supposed to do. But I'm just very lightly smacking with my thumb. And you want to lightly hit with your index, not even that heavy. You can hear I'm barely getting that smack in. So after you get this down, if you've never played this, just practice this. Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. So, it's kind of a new motion, and so it's going to take a little while to get down. What I did is literally just watch TV and just practice over and over. The next note you're going to hit, if you start getting bored with just millions of hours of that, next note you're going to hit is an open E. I use my ring finger to pluck that open skinny E. So it's going to sound the whole thing like this. D chord, hammer on with B string 3rd fret, flick, open E. We're going to play that together a few times. Just sit in there. And if you are not good at it, you're struggling with it, take a few days if you need them and just put on a podcast and just keep getting this down. It's annoying, but it's gonna be worth it. This is such a fun, honestly, it's a fun song. And this, getting that index flick, opens up so many doors for you. Now you get a little squeal, you get some vibe in, that's all right. Little pseudo pinch harmonic type of deal just adds to the mix. Honestly, you're gonna do this so fast when you do the actual technique. It's not a big deal to have it absolutely perfect. With time, you're gonna perfect it. Don't really stress if you happen to flick the B string too, no big deal. So, obviously we wanna speed that up. Next, you're gonna go D, B. D with the thumb, B with the middle. Rocking back and forth between that thumb and middle. Now that's one way to go about it. The other thing that a lot of people will do with this, there's kind of this tension. Do you hit it by plucking up with the middle? That's one possibility you have. Or you can flick down again. Card of scratch, right? You could tell me if I'm getting that right or wrong or otherwise. But I like flicking down, and I'm gonna hit that G sometimes a little too when I flick down the second time. So next, we're gonna slide up, and we're gonna move through this next thing pretty fast because a lot of this is sort of the same. So you're gonna slide up, and your middle finger and pinky are gonna be what slides up. So when you're in the D, put the pinky down on the skinny E third fret, so that G note is gonna slide up there to the 7th fret of the high E. So you're gonna, let's see. You're gonna have the pinky on the 7th fret of the high E, and you're gonna have the middle finger wants to be on the 6th fret of the G string. And so 6th fret G, mute your B, and high E, 7th fret. Because your root's gonna be that open D. So open D, 6G, muted B, 7E. So it's cool. It gives you this like tape or record sound when you play it. You're gonna pluck the open D at the same time that you slide up with the pinky. You could get a little of that G string in there too. But yeah. Index flick down on the G, that 6th fret, right? 6th fret G, index is flicking down. You don't have to bend it, but index is flicking down. My thumb just lightly coming down. Pluck the D, pluck the 5th fret on the high E while you keep your middle on the 6th fret G. Whole thing. probably hear it. Let's quickly go through it. So, plucking the D string in high E 5th fret, index finger down flick on the G, high E 5th fret with the ring, so after you hit that high E, open D with the thumb, index flick the back of the nail, side of the nail again on the G, 6th fret with your fretted hands. But that index is what does it. So it's like thumb and ring are hitting the D and high E, index on the G, high E with the ring, open D, G. All you do after that is you go ahead and move your middle finger down to the 2nd fret of the G string. So hit that A note, don't fret anything else for your D chord. Thumb and ring are gonna pluck D and high E. Index is going down on the G string. 2nd fret is where you're fretting it, right? So index, again, the back of the nail. Oh, it sounds so good. Open E. After your open E, you're gonna hit D and G again. So you should know by now D will be open, G will be with your index finger. The whole thing's gonna sound like this. We'll go through it slow first. You're gonna get that economy of movement by not moving your index finger much. You can hear I'm not flicking the shit out of it. I'm just getting a really light glancing off the string. My index finger wants to also stay curled, so I imagine that the point of my index finger is curling back towards me, like I'm saying come here, but upside down. And so for the longest time when I started doing this at first, I would be flicking like that. That's not what you want. You want it to be rounded as it hits the string, or angled at least as it hits the string. So it wants to be more, if you can see my finger there, the side, that point, that quarter of my index finger, that back, not that. You can play around with that. It might give you a cool sound if you're doing up here. It might work. So the thing you need to practice is getting that volume even with your index. All the chord stuff is great. That all doesn't really matter if you can't do the first part. So what I would do first couple days, it took a while for me to wrap my brain around that part of it, right? So you got, just to review that, open D, B string at the same time, So thumb, middle, flick down with the index. So hammer on. Add the open E. You're going to hit that open E with your ring finger. Open D, flick down on the G. I'm not worried about hitting it hard with my thumb. You can experiment with how much you want to hit it. Sometimes I don't even hit it. If I'm flicking right, I'm getting a little click sound just from my index. So get that. The rest of it really is going to come into place. So, cool part. Your tape speed up, record speed up. And we'll hit the chorus before we close out. Chorus, G with the F sharp and the skinny E. So still fretting the third fret of the B, F sharp. So I take the F sharp off to open E. So G with the F sharp and the skinny E. I'm going to slide a C up to the D position, so like 5-4, open 3. This guy. Now, is this what John Mayer plays? No, and it's worth going back and learning. I want to go back and learn exactly his thing, because he actually does thumb over the top, fret the G note. And then he's reaching, and he is, I want to say, with his third finger hitting the 6th fret on the G. Pinky hits the 7th on the skinny E. But we're not here to talk about what John Mayer does. We're here to talk about Carter family picking. If you want to look at that, it's worth it. I want to do a separate video on that. And he uses that same Carter family picking thing. So what I do is just make it easier on myself. And I'm just going from G with the F sharp and the skinny E to a D. And he just goes back and forth a few times. So your favorite intro part. I'm back. You get the idea. Stay tuned for part 2. lessonface.com/Benjamin Schuler. And yeah, give me a subscribe and a like. Thanks, guys.